I got some upvotes. Yeah, so that was all very stimulating for me. I must admit. 90 upvotes. Not only 90 upvotes, about 90 viewers came from Reddit to check out the stream. At least those links that I posted. From what I can see. If, assuming they weren't all bots. It's cool. It's too stimulating for me right now. Free marketing, also free art provided by yours truly at personal expense. No, also free entertainment, free education, free all the things. It's good. It's good stuff. I liked the response. I was happy about. I mean, I would also accept negative feedback if I did something that didn't look good. I'd want to know. It's also part of that equation. But so far, that went about as well as I could have hoped. So we'll definitely do that more. After doing that, I had a very stimulating time with my family afterwards, and everything was a little bit too much for me yesterday. So today, I was like, instead of jumping back into doing more Reddit dramies, which is not necessarily the whole point of what I'm trying to do, I'm attempting to recenter and then just process. And anyway, that as far as like free marketing, that data is still theoretically coming in, and if I do too much too soon, it would be possibly not the best idea, given that like I haven't even updated my website in 2 to 3 years. There's all sorts of stuff. Like, I still want to figure out a ton of streaming stuff. Yeah, I'm just vibing right now. Yesterday was a lot in terms of like, here, I'm going to deliver something amazing. Today, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, in half an hour, in fact, stop, go pick up my kids from school, and go, I'm going to go get some healthy exercise. I think I'll go on a hike. Yeah, that's what's happening then. And today, I did a couple other things. I tried out what could be a different camera solution, given that I have an iPad that I barely use that would be a good camera too, but I'm realizing other things need to get set up differently and I need more cables. But I'm like, okay, that's something I'd like to look into again, and I want to figure out how to do the fade to black stuff, and I'm like, I should just look at some tutorials and take my time and not try to make something huge happen and then ultimately burn myself out, get disappointed, have problems with scheduling it with my family and everything. You know, I got to keep it in perspective. This is not the I got to finish some Zelda drawings first, but one thing I wanted to do was do a fun Mirage sketch for you, and that might have happened today, but I was like, first do some yoga, make yourself breakfast, figure out, like, write down your thoughts about things, and just process and try not to get overstimulated like I did yesterday. Like, for context, yoga. That's how I'm reading it. Probably not the vibe you were putting out with it, but Mirage will be coming. Because the other thing is, like, I don't want to be one of those guys that, like, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna draw this for you, and then I like don't, you know. So it's like, especially like Mirage, like, he was such a pleasure to draw. Every kind of oh man, we did. I did a lot of fun drawings of Mirage that really should have gone farther, in my opinion. So I'll happily do more. Not like this is going to be like a legendary drawing or anything like that, but it'll be fun. We'll make it educational. Oh, another thing I'm doing right now is trying out this, can you let me know if I sound too loud or if it's like, holy shit, look at all these dropped frames. What's going on? What's happening? Why am I dropping frames? Holy shit, that's a lot. What's going on? Laggy, I don't want to be laggy. This is what I mean. I gotta iron my shit out. Maybe it was momentarily. It's better now? Jeez. Well, thank you for letting me know it's waggy. I do sound good? Okay. I adjusted, because yesterday you indicated that I sounded better when I was coming in a little higher than due to a reset. I'm looking loud. Like, to me, I'm looking at like it kind of getting the red a little bit. I don't know if that sounds good. I guess I'll listen to it back later, but balanced with the music, which is also different. The same artist I used from the previous playlist is here. Let's name drop the whatever. Chill Tendo Deluxe is our music for today. Okay. Yeah, what if I'm just I'm intense? I'm not attempting to be a loud talker person, but I don't want to be way too mumbly, and I want to find that sweet spot, so. Very good. I mean, that's like ideal, right? You wouldn't have to go in and manually adjust a person who comes on and starts talking, right? So that's good to know. Because I was playing with different angles too, the camera is slightly different. I think I will switch over to my iPad camera eventually. Or somehow integrate the iPad into the process. Because right now it just feels like wasted potential. Yeah, I don't want to blast. Still want chill vibe. Oh, wow. Here, you know, I was spacing out. I was using the wrong brush. Although it looks lovely, this is not the brush that's been consistent for the Zelda project. That would be this one. No major harm. Which description are you referring to, Maiko? The Boardomatic is, no, that is my... Yeah, actually, a good point. I've updated that to, it's now just maxforward.storyboards. Boardomatic was, I mean, I thought it was like, cool, scored a decent Instagram name, because a Boardomatic is a, it's like an animatic, without any rudimentary animation. It's just storyboards laid out in a sequential time frame, usually cut to music. But it just wasn't, I don't know. Instagram is not great for storyboarding, showcasing storyboards, and if it stream about, okay, yeah, no, that's fair. That I was complaining to myself earlier in the stream that I need to do better housekeeping with, like, if I'm gonna be doing like outreach via streaming and drawing random pictures of people on Reddit and stuff like that, I need to first get my house in order as far as like, let's make sure all this stuff like makes sense, is like, you know, more or less client-facing stuff is a little more tidy, so that if someone is like, hey, this guy's interesting, I want to talk to him about a project, that data looks like it's not update or not out of date and feels active and is accurate. So, to your point, my stuff in that you were indicating, that's out of date. You need to search for maxforward.storyboards on Instagram, and you will see it was just previously called Boardomatic, which didn't make sense for me to keep up anymore. I just changed the name. Those storyboards are almost entirely, all of them are over 10 years old. You can ask me any questions about storyboarding if you want to. That's kind of what this is about as well. Although right now I'm just doing sort of fan art. Doing fan art as a diversion and practice to keep my skills sharp and my interests and my attitudes high. As you know, the industry is in a bit of a slowdown, that's all. Just trying to hang in there. Hanging in there, making new friends. I like the music so far. Hopefully everything has a good outcome as far as not getting tripped up with DMCA stuff. It's the same previous artist, so got a good feeling. I'm not sure you missed anything. Dermaiko was briefly asking about my Instagram storyboards page, which I don't keep very much updated, though. Again, I should, like, get in the habit of keeping up with those sort of regular channels. Instagram, I don't find to be a very good... Feels like most of the storyboard artists are on Twitter, but also they're more like animation storyboard artists, which is great, but that's not what I do, really. I do animation in my storyboards, but not for animation studios, per se. It's more for advertising. It's different. Similar, but different. Overall, I'd say you didn't miss much. I'm trying to make educated guesses about how this... how this statue's sort of base, it's... I mean, what's this called? Like a stoa? It is cool to have someone ask about storyboards, but it's not quite the phase of like me showing how I storyboard yet. This is sort of like the Max gets used to streaming phase of the project. A lot of the real work of storyboarding isn't sexy to look at. It's like hard thinking. It's compute. It's very much a calculating, turning over, or if a person is standing on the left side of the screen and picks up an object, and we know they need to stay on the left side of the screen until another person comes in, and that person is right-handed, but they, you know, they're the good side of their face is on the left side of their body, then where do you put the camera in relation to the door, you know? And you have to work backwards from all those different variables. And you make the calculation, and then you draw some more and you realize, shit, they eventually have to shake hands, except the person is holding something already in their right hand. So what do? Do you go back and change the hand that they picked the thing with? Or do you ignore that and just, like most artists at that point would ignore it? But then like I would be thinking, but that's going to cause other problems down the road. You can solve it elegantly, I think, if you can account for everything, run it back, and then, you know, if it was a live action shoot, you can't control for where the door is or where you can place the camera. But in animation, you kind of can. You can lend a hand to how things are designed if you can show the director that the placement of things in space mattered as far as blocking. You can control for things that would eventually be problems by making sure that the door in your storyboard is where it's supposed to be in the actual finished product. Thinking about that stuff, and showing that thinking. It's not necessarily entertaining for people, but it's a big part of... It's a subtle, but a big part of what we do. Or it can be. You know, a lot of directors actually don't want you to think that hard about that stuff, but... Yeah, I can make suggestions about placement, especially with things like, for instance, I've worked on like a dozen Target commercials, for instance, and a Target commercial is usually 23 commercials in one, give or take, because the products, that's a bit of a generalization, but they'll be like, it's the Target summer sale, get markdowns on blah blah blah, and they'll show 3 products, and where you would arrange those products and how you would arrange them isn't up to the storyboard artist. But of course I can show a composition that works and has, you know, the lower third disclaimers and the copy, you know, the text that sort of makes the sale and displays the price in many cases, making that look interesting in combination with like a set of friends and they're all showing off their shoes to each other. I can make suggestions that feel like they solve problems, and then you do several sets of those in a Target commercial, because it's not just the shoes, it's also the handbag that goes with it, and the hat, the sunglasses, something for baby, and then, you know, a new line of dog toys too. They all make the appearance. It's like your perfect Target commercial. All of those products are different. I get like it's a binder's worth of documentation. Of course, these days it's in a electronic PDF, but it used to be like this big thick printout, and they'd have everything, and they'd have 3 different options of casting for every person that would be in the commercial. And just in that example I gave, that was probably it's lucky. You're lucky if you have under 10 people cast in a Target commercial that the artist has to draw dynamically, and of course they all have to be, and for good reason, they all have to be ethnically ambiguous. You know, we're not over or underrepresenting any particular demographic or stereotype. It's like everything has to be saying all the right things in the perfect way, because there's so many people in Target commercials, and it's usually choreographed to music. There's a lot of rigging and puppeteering. These sets are usually whimsical and produced by very sophisticated companies that take design extremely seriously, and they're not going to let you phone at home with, well, I mean, we do all work remotely these days, but you're not allowed to half-ass what is represented in their schematics for their, like, the production designer is making this specific set. You don't just draw a generic room. You're drawing a specific room from a specific angle. It's all been decided, because it's not only Target at stake who's thinking about, hey, how does our commercial look? It's every single brand that's represented in that commercial. Like I said, there were like 23 different SKUs of what needed to get done. Often that stuff is determined even up to the last minute, because these deals are going on in real time behind the scenes. They're placing bets with probabilities of, we'll probably get these sunglasses, we'll probably get this dog food, we'll probably get this, but all of that is TBD. And then especially with like COVID, like half the cast would drop out at the last second, have to get replaced with people who were COVID negative. Everything, it just, you can imagine, like, when you think about it that way, like, this simplest commercial can be mind-boggling. It's always a hard job, storyboarding for commercials. So anyway, blah blah blah. You can tell I have opinions about this stuff. I love those commercials because they're so challenging, And the productions really, really need and appreciate the storyboard. As long as it's a good one. If it's a bad storyboard, you can imagine a storyboard that looked like a storyboard, but didn't contain things that solve all those different problems. That's not helpful. That's that's worse than nothing, because it's misinformation. It leads the client astray. It's confusing. It tells the and storyboards are needed, especially in those scenarios, because of all the different products besides Target, there's all the different products. Those are all, we call them stakeholders. So they all need to have sign off on how their product is represented. They don't want to, if there's 3 kinds of candy, like, guess who wants to be, in closer to camera? Those are deals that have to get hammered out. Very difficult job is, that's kind of behind the scenes stuff in advertising. How do you please the unpleasable? It's super challenging, but I love it. It's good. It's a good time. It is. If you too are a genius, then you can get into storyboarding for advertising. Obviously, some of that is all said in jest, but Maiko, I'm gonna be leaving in the next 5 minutes to go pick up my kid from school, but if you have any quick questions about storyboarding, I'm happy to. As you can tell, I'm a tightly corked fountain of wisdom when it comes to the subject. I don't know if I love how this thing is interacting at the base. Do I have a live schedule? So no, although my more likely time to be live, if it was on a regular basis, would be very early in the morning, like before my kids get up, because I'm based in LA. And I have to more or less be available to work during the day, on any given day. So right now, if someone called and said, hey, we're booking you, guess what? Stream over. As a result, I don't have quite a live schedule worked out yet. No. But I'm trying to stream every day. Trying these days. Don't like how this is looking. I have to think on that a bit. Like, it's not bad. It's just... I don't like how it feels like this section is wider than the base. That doesn't feel elegant. Yeah, you can just follow me. I save all my old videos, and I'll eventually put them on YouTube, and you seem like you must be interested in storyboarding or illustration. If you are intrigued by any of that, then you definitely come by. And even if I'm not doing storyboards at the moment, like, which I'm not, you can tell I'm like perfectly willing to draw something unrelated to storyboards and still talk about them. And I have like a trillion storyboards on this hard drive right here that I could show you at any time. This project I'm on with the Zelda, it's a lot of fun for me. It's also fan art. It's not my day job. My day job is storyboarding. And when I'm busier with that, this is sort of on the back burner. When storyboarding isn't as busy as it could be or should be, then I jump onto this. And that's it. There's the heart, follow, and the bell notifications. Oh, good. I'm told that I have very good composition, and I like to talk about composition a lot in this stream. Here, composition is our guiding light that lets us know when we've wandered off course. Composition will solve our problems for us. We just have to be ears open, eyes open. Are you a visual artist? Sorry, Mayuko, I'm gonna ask you questions for the next 60 seconds, and then that's gonna be it. Good. I didn't really start taking composition seriously until 2017, 16, 17. And then, and now it's almost all that I think about in a drawing. So, okay, that feels like we got, all right, we got something done. I drew this little statue. Next time I'm on, I'll make it look old and dirty, like it's supposed to. We'll do other Zelda stuff. Might go if we did it, yeah. If you do stop by again, make your presence known. Ask me a question about a storyboard. I've done a trillion storyboards. If you are watching commercials these days, you see an Airbnb commercial pop on, you're probably seeing my work. Cool. All right. Quite a many samples we can go over with that. But in the meanwhile, I'm gonna go sign off, get my kids, and call it a stream. So thanks for stopping by.